Good morning. Go to the Torah reading for Teitzei, which was the Parsha which I actually got married. Now divorced from that person. So it's a little bit of a bittersweet Parsha for me. But let's get it rolling. So first aliyah, verse 10. If you go out to war against your enemies, and the Lord your God will deliver him into your hands, and you take his captives, and you'll see among the captives a beautiful woman, and you desire her, you may take her for yourself as a wife. So here the Torah is being super realistic about what goes on during warfare. And that there's these women out there, and whenever you're in a battle situation, there's always the actual population, not just the people you're fighting. So what happens if you run into or capture this woman and you really desire her? It's normal, it's natural, it's normal. And the Torah speaks to the natural self, but of course, it wants us to curb our tendencies. It wants us to sort of restrain ourselves. It wants us most of the time to not always act impulsively, to say the least. So now we get this thing where it says, okay, go out. So if you see her, you desire her, so it's a normal thing. You may take her for yourself as a wife. Verse 12, you shall bring her into your home, and she shall shave her head and grow her nails long. So you can marry her, but then, according to the Meforshim, you have to wait like 30 days before you can consummate the marriage. So you have to kind of sit there. She has to sit there, and she's going to cry. She's going to wear like garments of mourning, and she's going to grow her hair long, and the nails are going to grow long. Basically, she's going to become unattractive to you. So you really realize like what you've done. And she shall remove the garment of her captivity from upon herself. So whatever she was wearing when you captured her, and stay in your house and weep for her father and her mother a full month. Oh, it's not the Meforshim, it's the Torah itself says it. So you got to give this lady, so you capture this woman, you have to give her a full month of grieving. After that, you may be intimate with her and possess her, and she will be a wife for you. And it will be, if you do not desire, then you shall send her away wherever she wishes, but you shall not sell her for money. You shall not keep her as a servant because you have afflicted her. If a man has two wives, one beloved and other despised, I guess maybe it's this other woman that you brought into your house, right? Now, who's despising this woman, the first wife or you, right? And they bear him sons, the beloved one and the despised one, and the firstborn son is from the despised one. Now again, who's the one who has these feelings? Is it the guy who has feelings towards the second wife that he despises her, or is it the first wife despises her? So either way, the second wife, we're talking about the second wife, and she is feeling rejected, but either by the husband or by the first wife. Maybe both. Maybe it's more logical that she's despised by the first wife. I mean, come on, there's going to be jealousy, right? Maybe the second guy got over his sexual desire because of the 30 days passed, and now he's like, I kind of regret having this lady in my life. So, but he has a kid with her, with the despised one, and it's a firstborn son, which is an elevated position according to the Torah. Then it'll be on the day that the husband bequeaths his properties to his sons, that he will not be able to give the son of the beloved wife birthright precedence over the son of the despised one, the real firstborn. So the firstborn son, even is from the second wife who's despised. The firstborn son of the male gets the firstborn rights according to inheritance laws, which you should ask your local Orthodox rabbi about. I don't know anything about it because it's not really relevant to my life, because thank God I'm still here in this world, and I haven't set up my will yet, and I don't have a second wife at the same time as being married to my first of all, when I was married to my first wife, I didn't have a second wife. And when I, God willing, get remarried, I'm only going to be with one wife. I'm not going to have the situation of having two wives. Rather, he must acknowledge the firstborn, the son of the despised wife, and give him a double share in all that he possesses, because he, the firstborn, is the first of his strength, and he has the birthright entitlement. So this has to do with your seed, your sperm. If a man has a wayward and rebellious son, now again, this is connected because all the Meforshim seem to point out that this is this is the son of the despised wife, because like the son of the despised wife, he kind of feels it. He knows what's, children really know what's going on in the house. They have like pretty intense radar when it comes to like the parental situation in the home. So if a man has a wayward and rebellious son who does not obey his father or his mother, and they chastise him, and he still does not listen to him, and his father and mother shall take hold of him and bring him out to the elders of the city and to the gate of his place. And they shall say to the elders of the city, this son of ours is wayward and rebellious, does not obey us. He is a glutton and a guzzler. So like the Talmud goes into this and explains exactly what level of gluttony and guzzling, meaning drinking, that this would apply. Because I mean, if the guy has like, if this kid only has one beer, or maybe he's like, you know, like a little bit hoarding food, like at the shmorg, like what does it mean to be a glutton and to be a guzzler? So obviously there has to be qualifications, because those are very vague and broad terms. So the Talmud tells us, and then I remember, I believe, reading Rabbi Avraham Yitzhak Kook Zatzal of blessed memory, who was was the first chief rabbi of the state of Israel, Ashkenazi chief rabbi. I believe that it's attributed to him that he wrote that this never really happened. There never was a case where there was like this kind of son that was so bad, so off the charts in terms of guzzling and being a gazlan and a guzzler, that they actually, a glutton and a gazlan, a guzzler, that they had to kill him, right? So the men of the city shall pelt him to death with stones, and he shall die. So you shall clear out evil from among you, and all of Israel will listen in fear. Whew. So this is an intense punishment. Obviously, like you would think, like, man, like, don't you think we should like really try to reform this kid? We're talking about somebody that's really so far off, so out of control, that they actually have to stone somebody. Now, to get to these levels of punishments that the Torah, you know, states, which are always the most extreme because they involve like really heavy duty death, right? Like not just regular, like just, you know, I mean, they seem to involve stoning or strangulation, you know, like they're really extreme versions of killing people, of capital punishment. So you'd have to imagine that it takes a lot for a person to get to this like situation, right? It's not just something that's stom like every other person is going to get this, you know, stoned to death, right? I know we like make fun of it in the movies, but like it really takes a lot, and I'm making an understatement. Like the Sanhedrin, you know, which was this body of religious interpreters of, you know, the religious legal experts that existed, they went through a lot of effort to find people innocent of these crimes, because nobody wants to kill anybody. Okay, so that's the end of the first aliyah.